Hello, my name is Kelsey, and my New Year's resolution is off to a rocky start. Welcome to the podcast, Can You Take My Shift? Gather around the water cooler, everyone, for this week's cheeky gossip. Amy, how was your week?
It was a lot. You know how the universe has, rules of three?
Yes.
Yeah, 3 good things followed by, 3 bad things, and usually the 3 bad things space themselves out. I had a really good, first 3 to 4 days of the new year, and then the minute January 4th hit, we're all just like, nah, negatives, let's just go at it. And it doesn't help that it's been raining, all week, incredibly heavily.
Yes, so if you hear that in the background, we unfortunately cannot get rid of it. It is just pouring.
Yeah, it's truly raining cats and dogs.
No, yeah, it's been a bit of a rough week. I think more for you than me, although I am still hungover from last night, but
That's on you.
No, that's 100% on me. So I had the cute little idea. So I'm back in school, right? And this semester is 10 times harder than my last semester. Mm-hmm. One of my classes last semester got a 99, and that's not happening this semester.
Well, you never know.
Knowing me.
Okay, well.
Knowing me, I know, yeah. The 99 was in public speaking. One of the projects was a podcast.
Yes.
It was my class to fail. Yeah. No. So I have 2 classes on Mondays, and one is at 9 a.m., and then one is at 6:30. So yesterday I had my 9 a.m. class, which went great. She's my favorite teacher. I love her. I adore her. She is not making us buy the textbook and hates group projects, so I'm like, you are my ideal woman. And then on my class at 6:30, he just rambles straight for 3 hours. And then he's also one of those psychopaths that wants our cameras on. Which, I don't want my camera on.
Maybe this man needs a podcast.
Maybe. He just, he rambles straight for, 3 hours. And then, I'm trying to, stay focused. But usually, during lectures, I'm, sometimes, not doing what I'm,
Yeah, so, all students are.
Yeah, I was playing Animal Crossing during my morning lecture, but I'm still listening.
Yeah.
No, so he's rambling on and on and on. And I'm, watching him and listening to him. And then I pull up, Twitter, so I had, my split screen.
Yeah.
And I guess, I don't know, he caught my eyes, and he was like, all right, someone named 3 sports teams. I'm just gonna pick someone random. Kelsey. And I was like, fuck. Because, and my head was, full of no think, and I was like, I don't really watch a lot of sports, but I guess Toronto Raptors, Toronto Blue Jays.
And one other team.
Oh, and I think I said Montreal Canadiens because that's my dad's favorite hockey team. And I was like, oh, fuck, no think. And then the example he used was so stupid. And the class is all women except for one. There's only one guy in the class.
Yeah.
So the only 2 males are the teacher and the one guy. And then they go on tangents about cars to each other. And it's all women. I think we're all between 20 to early 30s. And we're just you can see all of her eyes just gloss over.
Yes, none of us care.
So my eyes were glossing over, and I was texting my boyfriend last night, and I was like, this is terrible, I hate this. So I was like, can you bring me a drink? So he comes over.
He brought more than a drink.
Oh, yes, he brought more than a drink. With this giant bottle of vodka, and the 3 of us had a little party last night.
Yeah, that was I was literally cozy in my pajamas, ready to probably oh, when Kelsey's done class, I'm just gonna go read my book. I'm getting through my book. It's really good. And he comes over, and I'm like, okay, sure. And I was like, you know what? Let's just hang out and drink. I have my own drinks in the fridge. I'll just have those. And Missy over here likes to think that she can keep up with everybody. Which, okay, it's ingrained in you, I think, from when we would drink in Florida. You think you gotta keep going. We're not in Florida. You don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah.
So,
we're not 21. This is not Florida. I can have...
Yeah, you can socially drink. It doesn't have to be pounding them back.
Yeah, I was a pounding back last night. The worst mistake I think of the night was I was like, oh, I'll make some food. What do I have? I bought these buffalo covered shrimp.
And you were really excited for them.
Yeah, for New Year's, and we never ate them because we had this shrimp dip, and I was like, that would have been too much shrimp.
Yeah.
So I make them last night, and you didn't have any, but me and my boyfriend did. And then I got very drunk and proceeded to puke multiple times, and they were great going down, but they were horrendous coming back.
Most things coming back up are not tasty.
Yeah, but seafood? Oh, no, seafood's one of the worst things coming back up. Oh, my God.
Yeah, so Kelsey's week was off to a little bit of a rough start.
Yeah, but it's fine.
You gotta go with the Monday with a bang, right?
Exactly.
Sets the tone for the whole week. No, we just gotta get through this week, and hopefully things will get better within the news.
Yeah, the news is something.
Our neighbors to the south of us, that country. We're not gonna get into it. Y'all can go on the internet. You can see what's going on. I just like to say to all our American listeners and my American friends, I love you all. Please stay safe. And, if you need to be a refugee or, you just gotta leave, all I ask is you bring a jar of cookie butter up with you and you can come hang out. I'll let you stay in our house.
That's fair. Ask. Yeah, no. Although my favorite news story of the week was, so in Quebec, they have a curfew right now.
Yes.
And this couple was fined because, so you're only allowed to leave the house after curfew is if your pet if you need to walk your pet.
Yes.
Because obviously if your pet's got to pee, they're not going to pee in your apartment.
No, of course.
So this woman put her husband on a leash. And they went out after curfew.
Was it like a bondage thing? Or were they just
I think they just wanted to be out after curfew.
They just snapped.
Yeah, so she was like, this is my pet. And they were both fined. I think it was $3,000 each or something ridiculous. But it was I saw...
They say white people don't have culture.
It was so ridiculous. And I was on the phone with my mom today and we're like, oh, I have something to tell you. And I was like, oh, I have a story for you too. And then we told each other this.
Oh, that's really cute. Yeah. That's funny.
My mom jumped on the brain cell for a minute.
I love that. No, that's great. Yep. Hopefully, the first week of 2021 was okay. Then it got not so hot real fast. And this week is kind of keeping the pace a little bit. And I'm like...
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, every person at my work, because I have a bunch of them, it's still the New Year. Some people I haven't seen it. I'm like, how's your New Year going so far in there? And I get the same answer from almost every person, and everyone says, look, we can truly only go up from here. And I'm like, I would like to know what up is. What are we reaching for? Is this a step stool kind of idea? What is going on? But I digress. We're still in the middle of a Panasonic. So stay safe, wash your hands, wear your masks. I digress.
Exactly. No, I think only going up from here is a very reasonable request.
Yes.
I think we can ask the universe for a reasonable request.
For the love of God.
Yeah.
Just a little something.
Yeah, exactly. So, but let's talk about requests.
Yes.
Reasonable and non-reasonable requests. Now, there's two things I want to touch on today. Reasonable and non-reasonable requests from your work/boss and from your friendships. So, Amy, which one would you like to get into first?
Let's get into work, since I just came from work and I have some stories I can share, even from today.
Yeah. Why don't you tell your story from today? We'll get the ball rolling.
Sure. I guess this isn't that much of a request, but it involves my boss. And for those who don't remember, I work for a coffee shop, in case anyone forgot. Not that we don't talk about it all the time. But some big news dropped today at the coffee shop, and I've been off for 4 days. So I come into work and everyone's panicking. I was like, what's going on? And my manager hands me this paper very ominously, and he's like, you need to read this report. And I was like, okay. And I thought it was something effective immediately, we're all closing again, or something crazy. And it was along the lines of they're closing some stores. That's very sad. And I read the paper and it doesn't say what stores or whatever. And my brain just goes, oh my God, is it us? And I'm in the back and I'm like, okay. I read the document 4 times and I was like, okay, I just need to pause, they're busy. I'm sure my manager will come and talk to me whenever he's ready. And he comes into the back and he goes, so do you have any questions? And I just go, I have one, but I'm scared to ask it. I didn't want to ask if we were closing. That's really upsetting. And he goes, no, we're not closing. So I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. And he goes, yeah, I had to be on a work phone call at my home because they said we couldn't take this at work. And he told me he got so anxious while on the phone, like waiting for this phone call, he shaved his head. And I look at him and I'm like, oh no. And he's like, yeah, I didn't know what else to do. I was like, I mean, maybe go for a walk.
Make a cup of tea.
Our work gives us access to headspace. Maybe do some meditation.
Read a book.
Read, like, anything else. And I go, oh, you pulled a Britney. And he looks at me and he goes, yeah, I guess I did.
I like that when he's anxious, he just chooses chaos.
Yeah. Like, maybe that's his, like, I was like, oh. So, yeah, I was like, well, we're okay. My story's okay, but to anyone else's may affect. I'm sure people will hear about this in the news and you can figure it out. But yeah, that was my weird news that involved my boss today.
Yeah. No, I think, like, I don't know. Like, bosses will ask sometimes. It also depends, like, how chummy you are with your boss. I know. So, like, I've been now laid off for a month, so I'm not working. I don't have any current work drama other than just my current drama with the whole layoff, but I won't get into that because I don't know if I can talk about that. But I don't know how many times I've had it where you get a little too chummy with your boss, and suddenly your boss wants to use you as a therapist. And this is not just me. I've talked to multiple people about this.
Oh, yeah. No, it's happened to me, too. The worst thing, though, was the manager who did it to me, I didn't like. Yeah. And he just did it anyway.
Yeah. Like, I've had so many bosses, like, as soon as we get a little bit chummy, it's like, how was your day? And then they just, like, lay it all out, and you're like, okay.
That's great. We're not that close.
Yeah, because, like,
paid enough.
Like, coworkers use each other as therapists, and, like, whatever, that's just part of working a minimum wage job is you're somebody's therapist. But when your boss wants you to be your therapist, and you're like, I'm literally not paid enough to do this or care. Like, I have been friendly with some of my bosses, but, like, especially the worst ones are the ones where you're not friendly with all, like, your ex-manager.
And then I'm like, did I ask?
Yeah.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. Did I ask?
And it's always like, you always are just being polite, like, how was your day? And you expect them to say, oh, good, thanks. But no, it's like, how was your day? Well, my husband left me, my dog died, I got this weird thing on my back. Like
it was a lot. Bosses can be so strange, but we all know this.
Yeah. No, and also, too, like, I hate, like, it's not an unreasonable request of you, but it's also when, like, customers use you as a therapist.
Yeah, I've been told some weird things.
Yeah. Like, I remember I was working at a salon, and I, like, was doing customer calls, and I was like, hey, like, just remind you have your appointment tomorrow, and she's like, I can't come in, and I was like, okay. She's like, I have a raging yeast infection, and I've been to the doctor, and I've seen antibiotics, and I'm like, no. She literally goes on for 5 minutes about her yeast infection, and I'm like, I know, like, yeast infections suck, lady, but, like, a simple, I have a medical issue, I can't come in. Like, I'm gonna waive the fee. I'm gonna waive the cancellation fee, because, like, we almost never, ever charged anybody the cancellation fee, but, like, she went on about this, and I'm like,
I think some people think, though, that if they continue to go, like, in depth with their story, then people will give them pity, like you said, like, no cancellation fees or anything. Yeah. Whereas if they give, like, I can't come in, cough, cough, I'm sick answer, people will be like, no, cancellation fee, right? So they think that they need to over-explain, because I've over-explained things myself. Like, one time when I was border crossing from the States to Canada, the agent asked me, so what did you buy while you were down in the States? And I literally told them everything. I was like, oh, I bought, like, a purse, I bought, like, 3 t-shirts, I bought a pack of socks, I bought some candy that I've kind of already half eaten. And the lady was like, you're fine, don't worry about it. I was so nervous, though. Yeah. So I just, like, told her my life story.
Ma'am, you got drugs or not?
Yeah, so.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Like, or two, like, at one time, because I was always the confirmation calls when I ever got the worst therapy. Or, like, one woman told me, she's like, no, my husband left me this morning. And I was like,
I'm so sorry.
I'm very sorry. So that's a no then, because you don't know what to say. Like, what am I supposed
Like, ma'am, this is a Wendy's.
Yeah, what on earth are you supposed to say? I remember working at the coffee shop too, and a woman like asked me if something had caffeine in it, and I was like, oh yeah, because the coffee shop has these like juice kind of drinks. I don't know how to explain them.
Yeah.
And they have so much caffeine in them.
Yeah.
But people buy them for their kids.
Yup.
And I was like, and then I was like, she was pregnant, and she was like, oh, do those have caffeine? And I was like, actually, yeah, they have a lot more caffeine than like an Americano. And she's like, oh, thank you for telling me. I had too much caffeine, and that's how I had a miscarriage last time. And I was like,
oh, no.
I was like, oh, okay. I was like, oh, yeah, like, I would stay away from them. I can make you decaf. Like, the tea, like, the passion tea has, like, no caffeine. No, like...
I think it's like some people don't realize that there like is no filter. Like I remember one time a guest at the theme park told me we had like a building that was like a famous chateau in I think Quebec, and the lady asked me, oh, is that like a replica of the famous chateau? And I was like, yes it is. And I was explaining like the history behind the chateaus and what they mean, and she goes, oh, that's really cool. Me and my husband were on our honeymoon, and that was the place where we consummate, or where our son was
conceived.
And I was like, have a magical day. I'm gonna go. Like, you didn't need to tell me that.
Yeah. No, and then like when I asked Kaylee this question, she was like, yeah, I never expected to be a therapist at, she worked at a grocery store. People would talk to me about anything and I couldn't escape because I was behind a counter. Like whenever I think, like when she told me that, all I could think of is that scene from Bob's Burgers with the turkey guy.
Oh yeah, where we find out that Bob is bisexual.
Yeah. Things haven't been going well. Oh yeah. Or like or too at the theme park, request people would ask of us is like people wanted to take pictures with us, which I hated because it would be like 40 degrees out. I'd be covered in sweat and beer and salt and oil. Literally, like my hair is sticking to me, and then they'd be like, "Can I get a picture with you?"
Yeah.
Like I am not a princess, okay?
No. I would only do it with children. Only kids, no adults.
So I was thinking of like other requests, and I haven't, like, besides being a therapist, because that's this one I too, I know I had a boss who started to use me as, like, their personal assistant, and, like, doing a lot of personal stuff for them, and I was like, I feel like this is not my job. Yeah. Or I hate when, like, they'll ask you to do something when you're in the middle of something else that's far important. You're like, so I could do this thing for you, or I could do my job?
Yeah, no, I think, like, managers can take advantage of you a lot of the time. Like my manager we talked about earlier, who'd like over-explain with things with me. My mom used to come visit me at my old work location all the time because it was in a mall. It was right by her doctor's office, and so she'd just always stop by. And he found out that like my mom worked for the company too, and then he would also start sharing his really, really personal stuff with my mother. And I was like, can you not? Or he would also like share like medical diagnoses with my mom, because my mom used to do like medical stuff, and he used to be like, yeah, like, do you know anything about this? And every time they'll fail, my mom would be like, yeah, it sounds like this, but you probably want to go to your doctor and ask.
Like, I know that's like a weird trope when people are like, oh, like, you're a doctor? Does this mole look natural? But nah, people do that.
They do that. And I'm like, no, like, this person, like, you are not paying this person to sit here and diagnose you. So stop it.
No, it's so ridiculous. Or one time when I was working at the Fusion restaurant, and like I remember I hated that place. My boss. So I used to have two bosses, but one boss quit. They were like co-owners, and then the owner just like fucked off one day and left us with a whole mess of everything. But that's another story. He was like working on an email, and so he would always brag that he was like an influencer, a creator, like he did all this stuff, and he was like very much like big ideas guy. But like I trusted him as far as I could throw him, like because I was working an IT job as well. He's like, would you quit your IT job if I paid you the same to be my personal assistant? And I was like, no, I don't really trust you. And I'm like, my gut was right there. Yeah. But he's like, hey, I'm sending this email to like this to this influencer, can you just like read this over for me? I just need like a second set of eyes. Because, you know, like I'm really good with English. I'm terrible with spelling, but my grammar is really good.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'll probably add like a comma here and maybe change something. I had to rewrite the entire email.
God. Was that bad?
It was so bad. And I was like, how did you graduate high school? Like, sir, you're telling me you co-own this restaurant, you have 50 jobs, you are, I don't know, he thought he was like the next like Elon Musk. I don't know. The man was
one of those like fake hustlers.
Yeah.
They're like top shit.
Exactly. And I was reading this email and I was like, you were going to send this? Meanwhile, like, I'm working in a restaurant. Like, I only had, like, one table, so it was, like, whatever. But I was like, my God, sir. This is definitely not my job. Also, like, you're my boss, and this is how stupid you are.
Red flag.
Yeah, so...
Red flag, get out of there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it took me a while to get out of there, but I thankfully did. Because I asked our friends if they had any, and, like, most people just said therapist, and we could talk about... And you can't really talk about therapy stories, because, like, even though, you know, I don't care for some of my bosses, I'm not going to tell their dirty laundry.
No, yeah, that's very fair. But what we will say about people who just got... what we will say for people who have been a therapist for someone else, just turn around and tell them, yeah, that'll be like $30 or something. Be like, what do you mean? Like, if I'm gonna be your therapist, you need to pay me for my time. Just turn that around, or be like, look, then maybe you should just actually go to therapy. We all need to go to therapy.
True.
Okay?
So I decided to like look up articles because I first went to Reddit and I didn't really find what I was looking for, but I found this article on Business Insider.
Oh.
Yeah, 45 of the weirdest things bosses have asked their employees to do. The first one on the list was watch the OJ trial. My boss asked me to watch the OJ trial and explain it to her. I was living in Germany, and she thought that, as a Canadian, I might have a better insight to the whole mindset. She paid me my full wage to sit with her and explain the reason behind the trial, the chase, and just about everything. Easiest job ever. I was so sad to see the trial end, and I had to go back to my regular job. Oh, sorry, trial.
Honestly... I would do that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. If someone was like, I need you to, like, sit here and explain this to me. Like, if someone was like, Amy, can you sit and watch Riverdale with me and explain? I'd be like, sure. That will be my due diligence, my charity work, if you will, for the month.
Like, oh my God, I can't even imagine. Another one here is, my boss asked a coworker to fill out adoption papers for her.
What? Why?
I don't know. That's all you get. There is so much more to that story, and that's all that's there. And I was like, damn it, I want to know that story.
Yeah, like you can't just give us a juicy bit and then not follow through. Ugh.
Yeah. Or, my boss asked me to buy dresses during work hours for his mistress while using his car to go around from store to store until I found the model and size he wanted.
Yo. Okay, but my brain goes, it's kind of smart because he's not doing it.
Exactly.
So, like, you know, if you don't want... Look, work smarter, not harder.
Exactly. Because when I was looking for a job a couple years ago, I thought about getting into becoming a personal assistant. Because I was like, okay, you know, I'm very like detailed, like I'm very organized.
Yeah.
Like I'm good at solving other people's problems, not my own. But
yeah, never our own.
But I am so happy that I did not, because, well, first of all, like a couple people for personal assistant wanted like bachelor degrees.
They do, and I'm like, I'm not gonna. I don't want a bachelor degree to walk your dog.
And like to pick you up coffee.
Yeah.
Like that, like who do you think you are?
Yeah.
So I'm very happy I didn't, because I've just heard like horror story after horror story. I saw this TikTok today about this girl who worked for like a major fashion designer, and he forgot his underwear, and she had to like go to get his underwear from his house and pick it up and then drive to the airport and like try and get through security so she could give her boss his underwear, because he only wears one particular type of underwear.
Oh my God.
I was like that, like that shit is crazy. And like, I mean, like The Devil Wears Prada, especially
Harry Potter manuscript scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that scene.
like, it's so ridiculous. No, I don't understand why people like put their personal assistants through that stuff. Like how detached you have to be.
Yeah, like I did like a fashion internship where I got to live my Aunt Andy fantasy one day a week. And I say that very loosely. I kind of just sat behind a desk and crushed a lot of shoe boxes and organized things, steamed things. But one thing I got to do is every once in a while, I got to walk the owner of the store's dog. And that was my favorite thing. They'd be like, yeah, like just take her for like a quick like 20-minute jaunt. And I'm like, I'm going to take her for like a 30-minute walk. Because it was like a little Shih Tzu, very sweet little girl dog, like just the most precious thing. Mm-hmm. The dog would always flex on me too. It had some sort of like Louis Vuitton or like a Supreme hoodie, and I was like, this dog has more wealth than me.
Oh my god, this dog had a Supreme hoodie.
Yes,
for a dog.
The drip on this dog was astronomical.
Oh my god. But like, okay, but also too, but let's say you didn't like dogs.
Yes. If you didn't like dogs, then that's a real shitty job.
Yeah, that's because you're there to do fashion, and then go walk my dog.
Yes. No, that wasn't fair. I didn't get to do a lot of things. The thing that sucked about that internship is I really didn't get to do a lot of like super fashiony things, which is whatever. I did some cool things. I learned some interesting things. Other things I was like, cool, I'm a personal assistant. But it was also unpaid once a week for 6 hours. So like, I can't complain. I got free Prada boots out of it.
That's true.
So.
Yeah. No, my last favorite one on here is my boss asked me to double stick tape her shirt to her boobs. I'm a woman, but it was still awkward in every way. I'm trying to think, like, as a woman, I've had, you can pretty much ask any female coworker to tighten your bra straps for you.
Yeah.
But no, put tape on your boobs.
Yeah, that's like another level. Again, it's one of those things I'm like, you gonna pay me for this? Mm-hmm. Like, it's just weird.
No, I know when I worked at the salon, I asked my coworkers for a couple of odd requests. I had one coworker who was a makeup artist, and she, like, always wore fake eyelashes, and I'm still really bad at putting on fake eyelashes, but a couple times when I was going on a date, I'd be like, hey, can you put these on me? And she had no problem. She'd be like, oh, Kelsey, you look so good with fake eyelashes on. You should wear them all the time. And I was like, you gonna come to my house?
And put them on me every single morning?
Yeah. Like, no, I can't do this. I even tried, like, buying the magnetic ones, but, like, the magnetic eyeliner that it came with was terrible. It was, like, so chunky, and I was doing everything to try and make it work. And on New Year's, I had it working, but, like, they were a little bit, like, hanging off, and then I obviously drank a lot, so was it you who pulled them off my face?
See, the thing is, it gets a little blurry. New Year's Eve is it's a good blur.
Yeah.
It's a blur, but it's a good blur. And I think your boyfriend was like, yeah, Amy, put them on your desk. And I was like, I did what now?
Yeah.
I don't remember, because I don't even know where my fake eyelashes went then.
That's okay. Apparently one of mine almost fell into the dip, so...
Oh, good. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and then I've had another coworker, so I don't know if, like... I mean, I hadn't heard about these until, like, obviously I met you. They're called, like, there's these, like, heat patches, but they're, like, called, like, salon paws.
Yes.
Yes.
All my coworkers tell me I'm too young to use those. Amy, those patches are for old people. And I always tell them, I have back problems of an old person. Let me have these.
Exactly. Like, I, too, like, my shoulder is still messed up from being dislocated, like, so many years ago.
Yeah.
So sometimes, like, I'll put them on, but I can't really reach my shoulder blade where, like, I need them the most. So I go to my coworker and I was like, hey, I need you to do something weird for me. She's like, okay. I was like, can you put one of these on? She's like, Kelsey, how do you know about these? Because she's like, these are an Asian thing. She's Vietnamese. And I was like, I don't know, Amy got them. They got them from Costco. And she's like, you can get them at Costco?
Because the thing is, like, they're not cheap. And so when I found them at Costco, I got really excited. And I told my coworkers, they're all Filipino, I told them at Costco, and they had the exact same reaction. Yeah. Costco sells these? Yeah. Gotta go to Costco, get them.
So she's like, where am I putting this? And I like just rip off my shirt, like, and she's like, okay.
But it's like, the thing is, like, it's a waxing salon.
Yeah.
They see people downstairs.
Yeah.
Like, they gotta be kind of close up in there to rip all the hair off.
Exactly. So she's seen more naked women than I have. So.
Yeah. Like, you're fine.
And she's like, okay. And then I remember the next day, I think this was when you were, because usually you just put them on me, but you weren't home. I can't remember where you were, and I needed it. I wanted it off, so I was like, the next day going, all right, can you take it off now? She's like, you really? Like, you can't reach it? And I was like, no, I can't reach it.
Grab it. My arms are too short.
Yeah, but no. So, like, I, as a friend, sometimes ask my friends to do some requests for me that maybe aren't, well, they maybe go outside their friendship parameters.
My favorite thing is I always know something weird or something kind of big is going to be asked of me, because you always go, Amy? And I'm like, yeah, what's up? And you just go, how much do you love me? And I'm like, shit, here we go again. Like, at this point, I don't keep track, like, we don't have, like, friendship points or, like, all that kind of stuff, but I kind of do. We keep a little bit of track.
We do.
Because, like, Kelsey always asks me for, like, weird things, and then you get, like, I always have to put you to bed when you're drunk way more than I ever have. You have to do the same to me. Mm-hmm. So, I have quite, like, a little bag of, like, presents I can, like, cash in at any time, and I'm just like, I'm saving them up for a really big one.
Oh, so God, I know.
For legal reasons, this is a joke, but you may have to help me bury a body one day. No questions
asked. At this point, it's gonna be like 5 bodies.
Yeah.
No, and I feel bad too, because, like, I remember I got really, really drunk for was it your 22nd birthday? We went to the club.
23rd.
Oh, 23rd. Yeah.
So
drunk.
Far gone.
So, and it didn't help that our friends, like, it was when the moment when our friends' sugar daddy bought us the shots. That was the tipping point.
Yeah.
He bought us all shots. Yeah. No. So for her, so I promised, because it was your and Kaylee's birthday, so I promised next year, like, I would not get that drunk. Yes. And so it was your birthday this year.
Yes.
So we went to, like, you guys wanted to go to, it was the summer, things were way more relaxed, so we went to, like, a socially distanced barbecue.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, but how do we get home? And I was like, I said words that I thought would never come out of my mouth. I will be the DD.
Wow, growth.
I know. So we go, it's me, Amy, Kaylee, her fiance, and Dan. Mm-hmm. And so all of y'all are drinking. I'm sitting there just talking to our other friend, and because she's not drinking either. And getting all of you guys in the car was like I had 4 toddlers. And I was like, because I'd get you all in, and then one of you would get out, and then I'd get that one back in, then another one would get out. It was like, I have to go to the bathroom. Oh, I need to talk to my mom. Oh, I think I forgot this. Where's my purse? And I was like sitting, clutching the wheel. It was like, I think, like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
I was like, get your asses in the, like, Kaylin, Jalen, and Braylon, get your asses in the minivan.
Yeah, no, I find that really funny. But I will say, okay, so, like, you gave us one.
Yeah.
But at least, like, the thing is, like, when I'm drunk, I'm pretty cooperative for the most part. Like, everyone's like, Amy, like, we need to go, or, like, let's go this way. I'll be like, yeah, sure. Like, I'm here to have fun, make friends. Like, I'm like a giant 4-year-old. Like, I'm just here and happy all the time. I just want to hug everybody. It's grand. You, when you are drunk, I'm stubborn when I'm sober. When you are drunk, I cannot. It's like moving a log. Like, on my birthday, we were it was me and Kaylee trying to get you home, and you just kept being, my feet are so sore, I can't make it home. And our walk home usually takes about 20 minutes. I think think it took us almost 2 hours. At least it felt like 2 hours to get you home. And at one point we had to like sit down. You literally took off your shoes and started like massaging your feet. And I was like, I have to work at like 8 a.m. the next day. Like, we gotta go.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I'm not the like. The problem is like I'm an all or nothing person. Like I go hard or go home, and in some cases it's great. Other cases it's not.
Nope.
So yeah, no, like now, like my boyfriend and I have been together not too long, but I already owe him 2 nights.
Yeah.
Because last night, I know the man loves me when he holds the bucket while I puke in it.
That's another form of true love, I'll tell you what.
So, especially puking that shrimp coming back out, because that was not great.
Yeah, I like looked and I was like, yeah, that's not pleasant.
Yeah, so it's fine, I owe him 2 nights, but also didn't have the help that last night I was like, oh yeah, just drinking as much as him, and he's like a 6 foot tall man.
Yeah, he's got a little bit on ya. Yeah. So, nope.
No, what are some, but like, besides my drunk antics, although my favorite new drunk antic of Amy is she turns into She-Hulk.
Y'all look at me, you've seen me in photos. I'm a pretty tall string bean of a woman. I can't even do a proper push-up. When I am drunk, I get this, like, superpower where I can, like, throw things, I can open whatever. New Year's Eve, I broke a Joy-Con on my Nintendo Switch, and I broke it pretty good. Like, the little wiring was, like, sticking out. And I was like, what did I do? Yeah, I've also broken the sink. Yeah. And I think that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, I broke the card game box, which I didn't know I did.
And the plastic wine glasses.
Yeah.
But it's fine. No, so I have a list. I've made a list of some of the unreasonable, like, well, they're not totally unreasonable. Like, you are my best friend, the love of my life, my sister. So, like, I don't think they're too unreasonable, but
other people might be like, I don't know if I would do that for my friend, which is fair. Everyone has different boundaries. Yeah. It's fine.
So like, I'm on like a hair washing schedule, right? Because like, we're women. I don't know. We have to plan when you want to wash your hair.
No, it's true. I always think, I'm like, okay, I have an event on this day. Yeah. My hair usually stays nice for about 2 days. Yeah. 3 if I just like zhuzh it up with a lot of dry shampoo, but I want it to look really good on my event day. Yeah. So and sometimes you're like, crap, I have to take a shower earlier. So like, how do I do it becomes a whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
It's a very relatable thing. Yeah. We have it like shower schedules.
So I got a lash lift, and so it's like, you're putting like perm on your lashes, right? So you cannot get them wet. Just like the whole scene, the court scene in Legally Blonde.
Get out of my head. I was literally thinking, you can't get it wet because it ruins the ammonium glycolate.
Yeah. So I got my lash lifted, but I came home and I was like, I was doing something the next day and I was like, I need to wash my hair, but I can't get my lashes. And I was like, how do I do this? So I was like, Amy, my catchphrase, how much do you love me?
I was like, what do you need? And she's like, I need you to wash my hair. And I was like, come again. So you got in your bathing suit. I was just in like a t-shirt, and we put a stool in the shower. It's like, I was helping. It was kind of weird because I was like having flashbacks when I used to help my grandfather get in the shower, like with his nursing ladies, and I was like, come on, Grandma Kelsey, let's go to the shower time.
But it was nice. It was like kind of weirdly intimate. But yeah.
I'm sure. I hope I gave you a good little scalp
Oh, no, massage. You did. Yeah, that's like my favorite thing when I go get my hair cut is getting the scalp massage. Like when I got my hair done in July, like I had to stop myself from almost moaning because it was so nice. So that one. Ooh, I remember. So when I was working at the salon, I was very excited because they finally trusted me with the work keys. My first day having the work keys, I forgot them at home.
Yes.
So Amy's mom was visiting.
Yeah, because I was at my fashion internship, and she's like, hey, like, what time do you get off? And I wasn't getting off, I think, until like 7 or 8. And she's like, oh, like, never mind, then don't worry about it. And I was like, what's up? Like, what's wrong? And you go, I left the work keys at home. I can't walk up the store. I don't know how to get them. And I was like, oh, well, like, I think my mom was just visiting one of her friends.
Yeah.
And I was like, do you want me to ask my mom? And you were like, no, like, that's too much to ask. And I was like, I can just ask her, and if she says no, then sorry, you're shit out of luck.
Yeah, then I gotta figure something out.
Yeah, but I was like, I can just ask. And I called my mom, and I was like, hey, quick question, are you doing anything? And so she went, and she was like, fuck, like, where does Kelsey even work? Because, like, my mom used to live in Richmond, but she's not, like, she's moved away now for years. And so I was like, oh, like, in Yale Town. And she's like, oh, yeah, like, I know where that is. So my mom, like, drove downtown Vancouver, and, like, literally it was, like, curbside pickup.
Yeah. No, it was awful, too. And I was, like, so mad because I put them in my purse so I would remember them. And then I took my other purse to work.
Wow.
Yeah. So another thing I have, okay, so I know you're not supposed to do this, but we all do. We all use Q-tips how we're not supposed to.
Yes.
And we all hate ourselves for it, but, like, it also is so good, but so bad, but so good. So one day I was using a Q-tip, how you're not supposed to, and I shoved a bunch of wax deep in my ear canal, and I was like, this is terrible. So my ear was started to throb. So I went and, like, my boss was like, get eardrops, like, it's, so I went and got eardrops, and still wasn't helping. And then, like, I tried doing the suction thing with a cotton ball, so it was just 2 days. I had a massive, like, earache. Like, my ear was in so much pain. I could barely function. I, like, went home early from work, and, like, I drove to the drugstore, and I was like, okay, well, the drops are not working. I'm gonna try that water squeegee thing.
Yes.
And I was having, like, this weird, like, I had this too when I first used eye drops where I couldn't put them in myself. So I had to have, like, I also asked a coworker to put eye drops in my eyes.
I think you also asked me to do that one time for you and it didn't work.
Yeah. So I was like, Amy, I need to. Because, like, my boss was like, just go to the doctor. But, like, was this pre-COVID or post-COVID?
I think it was during, because wasn't it in the summer too, where things were still, like, a little iffy?
Right, yeah. Okay, so this was in the summer. So that's why I didn't want to go to the doctor, because I was like, well, it's not emergency. She's like, your ear is in so much pain. And I was like, but it's not really an emergency, right? So she's like, they'll drain it for you. So Amy sat me down and literally drained my ear for, like, an hour.
I did, and I'm a weird well, I'm not weird. There's a big majority of the population that enjoys, like, gross things, like Dr. Pimple Popper, all that stuff. I love that. Like, give it to me. I love the satisfaction of it. I'm like, yes, relief. I wish I felt that. And so when I was cleaning out your ear, I got that, like, every time I'd, like, squeeze the water and I would see, like, something, like, pop out of your ear. I was like, we both feel very relaxed. This is nice.
No, that was an interesting one. I never thought I'd have to ask you to do that.
Yeah, and I remember you looking at me going, you enjoying yourself? And I was like, yeah, quite a bit. Like, this is nice.
What else? So I've got, what else do I have on my list? So in the summer, I was like, we talked about this. We kind of started dabbling with the fake tan in the summer.
Yeah, we wanted to become tan goddesses.
Yeah. So,
or in my case, you just want to look like a normal human being.
Yeah. So I was dating someone in the summer, not my boyfriend, and I was like, I was doing the fake tan, and I was like, okay, like, things are getting, like, heating up between the two of us. I'll leave it there. And I was like, Amy, I don't want to have tan lines. And she's like, what do you want me to do about it? Amy, can you help me put tan on my back and my butt?
Yeah, I think that, and that was before the hair washing. And I was more apprehensive about the hair washing than I about the self tan. I was like, okay, like, I guess.
So I was like, Amy said put self tan on me. Okay,
Look,
but you
man,
can't.
you gotta step it up.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't reach it. Like, you can't reach your back.
No.
And like you can't see it. So, because I remember when I first started getting into tanner, like it was patchy as all hell.
Yeah.
So like I wanted, to look good.
Of course, everyone does.
Yeah. So that one, and then so we haven't really talked about this. Have we? I don't know actually.
I don't know.
It's your back cracking.
Oh, we haven't talked about that at all.
Yeah, so Amy, since I've known Amy in Florida, she's just like been like, I let Amy step on me. Well, not anymore.
I let this woman step on.
So ever since I met Amy in Florida, she was like, yeah, I just step on people's backs, and I was like, excuse me?
I don't even know where that came from. Like, now that I think about it, I have no idea where I just all of a sudden was like, yeah, like, I'll just step on your back. Don't worry about it.
So we'd have a long shift of work in Florida, and then Kaylee and I would get home, and we're like, Amy, step on our back.
Like, literally, you guys would just, like, walk in the door, take off your bag, and just, like, hit the floor. And you're like, Amy. I'm like, all right, cool. Because I don't know why, like, I have pretty big feet, so I think I can get a lot of space. And I'm not, I'm a pretty decent, like, weight, so I can, like, space myself out and kind of crack some stuff along. I'm not a chiropractor. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. But if it gives relief to my friends, I will do it. Like, I think I did it to Kaylee's fiance.
Oh, yeah.
And he was, like, kind of apprehensive about it. I was like, look, like, the minute you say it's painful, I'm gonna get right off. And I did crack some things, and I was like, cool. And then when we were living with your parents, like, this time last year, your sister said that she had a lot of back pain, and I was like, if you want, like, I can step on your back. Like, I do it to your sister all the time. And it's one of those things where, like, the minute you say, I'm in pain, I'm gonna jump off, or if it's uncomfortable, I'm getting off. Like, I'm very, like, good about that. And I like, go on your sister's back, and your sister's an athlete, so she got a lot of muscle, a lot of tension, and all of a sudden I hear this massive crunch, and your sister just goes, oh, and I leaped off her back. I was like, oh my god, did I just kill your sister? I was so nervous.
And she's just laughing.
Like, and Kelsey was like, you need to tell us if you're in a lot of pain. Are you okay? Do we need to take you to a hospital? And your sister's like giggling. She's like, no, I'm fine. I just wasn't expecting it. And I was like, okay, so we're gonna call it a day.
I fully thought you just broke my sister, because she just was giggling and she wouldn't stop giggling, and I was like, I need you to sit up.
I was like barely a week at your house. I'm like, cool, I just killed a family member.
Oh, Amy didn't come to stay. She came to slay.
So, if anyone needs your back cracked, I'm available. All I ask is, I don't know, buy me some chocolate.
No, and then, like, to wrap this up, the thing is, I ask a lot of Amy. There's more to this list, but I could keep going on. Like, we're kind of hitting around the end time. I could go on and on. But see, Amy's still holding hers. Although Amy, for a while, was when you would fly all the time.
Yes,
and
a jet setter.
There's one thing. So the Vancouver airport is terrible. The drop-off pickup zone is so crazy and hectic, and it's so terribly set up.
Yeah.
And Amy would ask me to drive her to the airport, so I accumulated quite a few points there every time.
Yeah.
Especially at 5 a.m.
Yeah, those always sucked. And you did drive me and my mom to the airport one time, so that was fair. Yes.
Yeah, I remember the first time I drove you guys to the airport. You're like, oh, no, turn right. And I started.
No, because we went to go get a rental car.
Yeah.
And we went the wrong way. And I was like, I'm so sorry. It was 5 a.m. too. We're like, God.
Yeah, it was great. So yeah, I think driving someone to the airport is a key part of friendship. It's are we at this point in our friendship?
There's going out for drinks, and then there's asking them to drive you to I think that's the next adult friendship step. Or helping someone move, or something like that. That's above airport.
True. No. But yeah, no, you can ask things of your friends, just, pick and choose. I don't puke every single night.
Yeah, just don't do it all at once.
Yeah.
Spread them out. Kelsey never puts, all her problems come very sporadically. So
Exactly.
I'm okay.
I think I've got, a couple months before I can, maybe it's the next time I ask you for one.
I don't know. They pop up at very random times.
True. I don't choose them.
No, yeah, it's never a dull moment. I'm always what's on the agenda today?
Yeah. No, it's never a dull moment here. Nope. Here in the loft.
Yeah. I'm just gonna wait to cash mine in. What should I spend it on? I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah. So I think as this journey of my chaos comes to a close, Amy, why don't you give the fans the outro?
Yes. Thank you guys so much again for listening this week. We hope you enjoyed. Please make sure you're following us on all our social media platforms. On Instagram, it's at Can You Take My Shift? And on our page, we share TikToks all the time. We post. Please like and share our posts, comment on them. It means a lot to see that you're engaging. Send us a DM. We love hearing from you. And you can find our personal Instagram contact information there if you so choose. You can follow us on Twitter at CYTMS Podcast. We have been a little bit more active there. Not a lot. We gained some followers this week. That was nice.
Yes, because my boyfriend tweeted, go follow them.
Appreciate it. Yeah. One step closer. Kelsey's still missing all her 11,000 followers, but she's getting there.
I lost a follower this week. Guys!
Gotta help her get her New Year's resolution.
Yeah.
But yeah, on there we love to share memes, hang out, DM, talk with us. It's a good time. You can also find our personal Instagram or our personal Twitters there. So if you just want to follow us individually, that's cool too. Help Kelsey gain her follower back. You can also listen to us on Google Podcasts, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. And if you listen to us on Apple, please give us a 5-star rating and leave a review. One or the other. One would be great. Both would be even better, and we would really appreciate it. It helps us get on the charts. You can also find us on Anchor and on YouTube. You can watch us, listen to us on YouTube. Hopefully we'll have more YouTube content coming out within the year. We're working on it.
We're working on it. Maybe something extra special for Valentine's Day. Who knows?
We'll get there. We'll get there. But I think that's all I got for this week. So again, thank you guys so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed. Remember, don't let your bosses take you for granted. Don't let your friends take you for granted. And Kelsey, can you take my shift?
No, I'm really busy because I just streamed all of High School Musical, the musical, this series, so I can get to date on the Olivia Rodrigo and Joshua Bassett drama. So I'll get back to you on that one.
Ah, yes, Joshua basketball.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.